my name is Maria del Mar Guzman Montoya, and today I'm going to present my research project titled Building Bridges with Words: The Impact of on the Development of Writing Skills. I am a student at the Universidad Nacional Abierta y a Distancia, UNAD, and this work was developed in collaboration with my colleagues Judy Alejandra Torres Plaza, Karen Sofía Valderrama Elvira, Joana Yaras Díaz, and Angela Siacha. Now, this study focuses on how students use basic connectors in English and how interactive digital activities such as gamified learning can help them write more coherent, fluent, and creative. Desk connectors are words like and, but, because, so, which are essential to link ideas in writing and make text understandable. In this presentation, I will explain the problem we investigate, the methodology we apply, the main results we found, and finally, the conclusion and recommendations based on our findings. I hope you enjoy the presentation and find it useful. When we designed this study, we wanted to explore more than just whether students can write English sentences correctly. We focus specifically on how connectors, words like and, but, because, and so, help students organize their ideas in writing. This research is part of the educational research line focusing on methodological design for teaching English as a foreign language. It's a qualitative study, which means we look at students' behaviors, perceptions, and writing they produce rather than only numerical results. The keywords we choose: connective, writing skills, gamified learning, digital activities, and EFL education show the areas we explored. Connectives are essential for coherence. Writing skills include fluency and creativity. Gamified learning and digital tools like Kahoot and quizzes were the main strategies we implemented. So, from the very beginning, we wanted to understand not only if students improve, but how they experienced learning, how they felt on how technology could make writing more engaging. Struggle to produce coherent writing text in English. They often write ideas in separate sentences without showing the connection between them. For example, a student might write, I like reading, I watch TV. Instead, with basic connectors, they could write, I like reading, but I also watch TV. Research by Harmer 2015 and Ur 2012 confirms that this is a common problem, especially at the A2 level. Students know words and grammar but struggle to link ideas. This led us to our main research question: how does the implementation of interactive digital activities influence the appropriate use of basic connectors to improve coherence, fluency, and creativity in the writing of seventh grade students with an English level of A2? To answer this, we use gamified digital tools and collect information um, from four main resources. Okay, so we use field journals to note students' reactions and behaviors, classroom observation to see how students interact with each other and the task, Three, grading productions to track improvements in coherence and connector usage, and digital activities like Kahoot and quizzes to provide interactive learning experiences. The significance of this practical is it shows that technology and gamification are not just fun, they directly support learning, making grading clearer, more creative, and more structured. Our general objective was to investigate the effect of interactive digital tasks on students' coherence, fluency, and creativity in grinding. We also focus on four specific objectives: to explore students' perceptions and motivation when practicing grinding with digital tools. For example, did they enjoy using Kahoot? Did they feel more confident? Second, to identify areas for improvement in grading coherence. Where did the students still struggle to connect ideas, even with digital support? Three, to observe changes in engagement and participation. Did the students participate more actively when switching from traditional worksheets to interactive digital activities? Four, to provide practical recommendations for teaching using these tasks effectively in the classroom. These objectives allowed us to address both students' performance and their experience, giving a contemplate picture of how digital tasks can influence in their grading. Our study is grounded in research on gamification and digital tools. For example, we have authors like Kapp in 2012 who emphasize what gamification can increase motivation and engagement in learning. Students want to participate when activities feels like a game. Dominguez in 2013 showed that digital quizzes improve performance and participation. Students who are usually shy may become more active in game based environments. And then we have Lee and Harmer in 2011 who highlight personalized learning and immediate feedback, which is crucial because students can see their mistakes and correct them in real time. We have also other authors like Werbach and Hunter 2012, The Thirteen in 2011, Hamari in 2014, who discuss how rewards, challenge, and collaboration in gamified activities can promote learning. Also, we have some classic studies like Halliday and Hassan in 1976, who emphasize the importance of cohesion in grading, which aligns directly with our focus on connectors, and Biatkowski in 1978, who explains the importance of social interaction in learning, which supports the use of collaborative digital tasks. Also, Puente Dura in 2014 emphasized integrating technology meaningfully in education, which guide our approach. In short, the literature supports our hypothesis that interactive gamified digital activities can enhance grading coherence, fluency, and motivation on the students. We follow a qualitative applied design because we wanted to see how students actually improve rather than only measuring test scores. Our approach was descriptive and exploratory. We observed students as they completed activities in Kahoot and quizzes, tracking not just their scores, but also the engagement, the participation, and the confidence. Um, in some of the instruments, we can say that we use digital quizzes for immediate practice, structured grading tasks to see progress over time, and observation sheets to track behavior and interaction. The study had four phases or four parts. The first one was planning, designing the activities aligned with our learning goals. Second one, implementation, running the activities in classes. Third, observation, noting improvements, engagement, and difficulties. And four, analysis, comparing performers before and after the intervention. This design allowed us to understand both how students learn and how they feel during the process. After implementing the digital activities, we observed significant improvements. Students became more coherent in linking ideas. For example, they start using and, but, because, and so more accurately. Their fluency increased so much. They wrote longer sentences and paragraphs without losing the meaning. And for sure, the motivation and engagement were higher. Students were eager to participate, answer questions, and compete in games, right? We summarize the results in hypnotic tables, highlighting them and key improvements. For example, hesitant students became more confident contributors in collaborative tasks. The activities clearly influence how students organize their grading and use connectors effectively. Conclusion, we can see clearly the gamified digital tools like Kahoot and Quiz had a significant impact on students' grading development. First, students gain confidence and motivation. For example, when students who usually wrote very short, disconnected sentence like I like reading, I watch TV, began writing complete paragraphs that use connectors such as and, but, and because correctly. This shows that when students enjoy the activity, they are more willing to take risks and try longer, more complex sentences. Second, their use of connectors improved notable. Before the intervention, many students struggled to link ideas coherently. After practicing through gamified tasks, we observed students making logical connections between ideas. For instance, a student's growth. I like reading because it helps me learn new words, but I also enjoy watching TV because it relaxes me. This demonstrates that the students not only understood the character but could also happy apply them in meaningful ways. Third, the digital platforms encourage collaboration, reflection, and immediate feedback. Kahoot and quizzes allowed students to compete in teams, discuss answers, and reflect on mistakes instantly. Quizzes provide personalized feedback, letting students to see their errors and correct them immediately. This type of interaction promotes deeper learning because students reflect on their own writing while learning from peers. Finally, gamification also strengthened creativity and active participation. Students who were initially hesitant or shy become more engaged, sharing personal ideas and connecting them with appropriate connectors. For example, a student wrote a story linking their weekend experience using multiple connectors, showing both structure and creativity. Overall, the combination of technology and guide teaching improved not only the final grading products, but also the process of grading. Students became more reflective, motivated, and independent graders, showing that gamified digital tools can transform the learning experience in the English classroom. We for sure can affirm that interactive digital activities enhance grading currents and creativity. In summary, the use of Kahoot and quizzes help students in three main areas. First, students were able to grade more current and fluent tests. Their ideas were organized logically and connectors were used appropriately, making their grading clearly and easier to understand. For example, short, disconnected sentence became structured paragraphs with smooth transitions. Second, students showed notable increase in motivation and engagement. They participate actively in class, show enthusiasm for the digital task, and were eager to complete grading activities. This motivate environment encouraged them to participate more, which directly impact their grading improvement. Third, students learn how to use connectors correctly while expressing ideas creatively. They not just only follow grammatical rules but also add their personal voice and ideas, making their writing richer. By focusing on specific objectives, we can conclude 1. Grading development. Students organize ideas more clearly and apply connectors effectively, enhancing both currents and fluency. 2. Motivation. Interactive activities were enjoyable, which increased willingness to participate and engage in learning tasks. 3. Engagement. Gamified has promoted teamwork, self confidence, and consistent application of connectors. These conclusions demonstrate that integrating technology in EFL grading is more than a novelty. It has a measurable practical benefits, helping students develop skills that go beyond grammar and vocabulary to include coherence, creativity, and communication. In this study, we relied on key references that support both the theoretical framework and the practical application of gamified digital learning. Castiblanco and Vizcaíno in 2020 provide strategies for teaching currents in EFL grading, which guide our design of exercises focusing on connectors. Gonzalez in 2024 highlighted the importance of connectives in creating cohesive tests. Halliday and Hassan gave a foundational insights into cohesion and how linking words structure meaning in English tests. Kim 2023 and Lee 2023 offer case studies showing the impact of gamified interactive tasks on grading skills of A2 learnings, while Lie in 2021 explored gamified grading tasks and connectors used as in a secondary education, giving evidence for using digital quizzes and games. Puente Dura in 2014 discussed integrating technology in a meaningful way through frameworks like SAMR and TPCK. And finally, last but not least, Vygotsky in 1978 emphasized social interaction in learning, reinforcing the collaborative approach we use in digital tasks. Together, these references guide us to combine theory, pedagogy, and technology, allowing us to implement activities that were not only engaging but pedagogically sound. So, based on our findings, we propose several recommendations for teachers who want to improve students' grading through interactive digital activities. Integrate connectives into daily grading practice. Encourage students to use words like and, but, because, so in every grading task. This repeated practice builds automatically. Second, use visual organizers. Mind maps or flow charts can help students plan their ideas and see where connectors are needed. 3. Encourage peer review. When students check each other's work, focusing on connectors, they learn collaboratively and reinforce their own understanding. 4. Provide target feedback. Correct errors in connectors used immediately, but also highlight success to build confidence. And fifth, incorporate technology. Gamify platforms like Kahoot, quizzes, or any other one. Keep students motivated, allow for instant feedback, and make writing practice more enjoyable. Implementing the strategies said before, we can enhance current fluency, creativity, motivation, and engagement. They create classrooms environment where students are active participants in their learning and not just passive receivers of information. To conclude, our study shows that interactive digital activities combined with gamification significantly enhance EFL students' grading skills, particularly in using connectors to link ideas and creatively. This approach does not just teach grammar, it teaches students how to communicate effectively in grading English while enjoying the process. Technology and gamification, when truly thoughtfully integrated, can transform the classroom into an engaging space where students grow as confident graders. Thank you so much for your attention. I am so happy to explain my research document and I hope I achieved the expectations.